Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. Number 5, believe in yourself. Number 4 was believe it's possible, but number 5 is believe in yourself. This is a quote from Max Lucado, who's a best-selling author. You weren't an accident. You weren't mass-produced. You aren't an assembly line product. You were definitely and deliberately planned, specifically gifted, and lovingly positioned on earth by the master craftsman. Love that thought of thinking of that. If you are going to be successful in creating the life of your dreams, you have to believe that you are capable of making it happen. Believe in yourself. You have to believe that. And believing in yourself then definitely becomes an attitude. It is believing in yourself is a choice. It is a choice that you make every day. I have a super great friend. She reminds me that it is my choice. It's my choice of how I respond. It's my choice of how I act. It's my choice of whether I believe in myself, whether I believe in my relationships, whether I believe in others. That is my choice, But remember, you've got to remember the past is the past. So there's no payoff for blaming, something or your current level of self-confidence. You've got to take 100% responsibility of your life. Remember, that was our first principle. So now you have to take 100% responsibility of taking charge of your own self-concept and your own belief. No one else can do that for you. You must choose to believe anything that you set your mind to, anything at all, because in fact you can. In fact, of course, you can. And it might help you know that the latest brain research now dictates that with enough positive self-talk and positive visualization combined with proper training, coaching, and practice, anyone can learn to do almost anything. Hundreds of people, anyone can do to learn almost anything. But the choice of believing is absolutely up to you. You've got to take, there was a Stephen Cannell looks like. He failed 1st, 4th, and 10th grades. All right, 1st, 4th, and 10th grades. He said he would spend 5 hours studying with his mother, studying for a test, and then he would fail it. And then he would ask his friends a question, and they would say, like, how long did you study? And they would say, I didn't. I didn't study. His friends didn't study. And then so his question was, he concluded that he must be that he just wasn't intelligent. Well, he refused to accept that. He refused to accept that fact and decided that it was an act of will. He was going to put his mind to things. So he ended up playing football, putting his mind to football, ended up with an interscholastic scholarship, sports and football, of course, because he trained himself. He then ended up forming his own production studio. He created and produced over 350 scripts and shows. The A-Team, Rockford Files, Beretta, 21 Jump Street, some of the things you might have heard of. Even 21 Jump Street got a reboot, so no matter what age you are, you might have heard of that. And a show called Silk Stockings. So he's a prime example of the fact that when you believe what you can, that it's not what life hands you, but it's how you respond to it mentally and physically, of how you're taking that in. Henry Ford, he said, and I'm looking for a lot of men and women, right, who have an infinite capacity to not know what can be done. Meaning we can believe whatever is possible out there. We don't have the limitations on saying this is the only thing that can happen and what can be done. And the phrase I can't is the most powerful force of negation in the human psyche. This is from Paul Schliel. It says, we have to give up I can't. We absolutely have to give up I can't. If you're going to be successful, you have to remove the phrase I can't out of your vocabulary. It has to come out. And all of its cousins, which are, I wish I could, I actually can't, I'm going to disempower you, and all those things. I can't is a disempowering you. It's not a word of empowerment, it's a disempowerment. So we don't want to do that. It actually makes you weaker when you say that. And there's actually tests that you can do where it shows when the body says I can, you feel stronger. Your body and your brain feels stronger when it says I can't, you don't. So we've got to take I can't out of there. Your brain is designed to solve any problem, to reach any goal that you want to do. So the words that you think can actually, again, affect your body. And we know that. We know that is possible, and we've talked about that. So you have to take, again, 100% responsibility for removing I can't from your vocabulary. You are the one who has to do that. So, as one thing you might think of doing is writing down all of the things that you think you can't do. All right. This is your last chance. This is the last hurrah of using I can't. Write them all down. And then you know what? It's winter. make a big bonfire, make a bonfire in your yard and throw all those I can'ts into the fire and say, you know what? I'm refusing to accept that I cannot do any of these things anymore. We're burning it up. We're taking the word out. We're done with it. I can't, be perfect. I can't find the perfect job. I can't be a millionaire. I can't find the perfect mate. We're done with that. We're out of there. We're going to throw it up and it's going to all burst up into flames. So have that be a fun exercise to do. Don't waste your life believing that you can't. Laura Schultz, she was 63. She, story we've heard before. It's kind of that Superwoman, Superman story. Her 5-year-old grandson, the Buick, backs up on the 5-year-old grandson. And guess what she does? She lifts that car off of that child. She absolutely does do it. She's never lifted more than 50 pounds in her entire life. Not an athlete, not anything. Hadn't listed a 50-pound dog bag food was what she thought was the biggest thing that she'd ever listed or lifted up. And when they came to her and they interviewed her and they said, what on earth, how did you do that? And what she said was, and this is a wonderful, wonderful thing. She said, if I was able to do this when I thought I couldn't do it, imagine what does this say about the rest of my life that I have wasted? What does this say about all the other things that maybe I can do that I never thought I could do? So, she was 63 years old when she had that revelation. If you need to have that revelation, if you're 63 and you need to have that revelation now, believe it and have it now. But if you're not, don't waste your life of all the things thinking that you can't do when there's so much out there that you can do and you can start working towards. It is all about an attitude. Ty Cobb, who was a baseball player. And I love this story because I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. You're going to get a little bit of Elizabeth Mendenhall's tweak on this one. So he had a lifelong batting average of 367, obviously very high. And a reporter asked him when he was 70, a reporter came to him and interviewed him. And he said, what do you think, if you were hitting today? His average was 367. They said, what do you think you would hit today? And he said, maybe about 290 or 300. And the reporter said, is that because of the travel, the night games, the artificial turf, things have changed? And he said, no, it's because I'm 70. Well, Ty, just because you're 70 doesn't mean you can't have the same batting average that you had before. So, but you can see, again, it wasn't the other things in his life that he was accepting. It was the acceptance of the fact that he was changing and he was changing. So, but don't accept that no matter what age you're at. And this chapter kind of wraps up with two thoughts. One of them is very powerful, and it is affects our real estate industry and the fact that just less than half of our real estate industry does not have a college degree. And it says, don't assume you need a college degree to do it. 20% of American millionaires never set foot in college. 20% never set foot of millionaires in college. 21 of the 222 Americans billionaires, now this was an older number, never got a college diploma, and some did not even ever finish high school. So a formal degree is not a limitation. Vice President Dick Cheney dropped out of college. So think about one of the richest men in America, the vice president, dropped out of college. Don't let that be a limiting behavior as well as far as what you can do or you can't do. What others think about you, and this is our last concept here, what others think about you is none of your business. And Venus Williams, our Olympic gold medalist, professional tennis champion, said, you have to believe in yourself when no one else does. That's what makes you a winner. And that is what makes you a winner. So quit worrying about what other people think of you and follow your own heart. Right? Absolutely follow your own heart. Dr. Daniel Amen, he has what's called the 18, 40, and 60 rule. And so, kind of think about this. When you're 18, you worry about what everyone else is thinking of you. When you're 40, you realize you don't give a darn what other people are thinking of you. And when you're 60, you realize that actually nobody's really been thinking about you, right? Most of the time, surprise, surprise, most of the time people are thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about you. So don't worry about that. What others think of you is absolutely none of your business. And again, you have to believe in yourself when no one else does. That's what makes you a winner.